Can you do it?
Hey everybody, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you're here. I just went potty and I feel much better now.
I didn't think you were gonna make it.
It was close. It's a good thing that you go out that door and immediately to the left is Logan's room and about 3 feet from that to the right is our bathroom. So I've got 6 feet to go once I get out the door. It is quick. So yeah, there we go.
Me impressed. I thought Micah was gonna hold down fort for us.
Okay, I just have to get to this comment right here because you said you thought Micah was going to hold down the fort.
Yep.
And Dennis is saying, Josh looks so much better than usual. Yes. Mom saying TMI. I think that is the entire month of December between Jared and I.
Oh, man. Oh, the hand comment from today's vlog. I was like, Josh.
Me?
Love it.
Thinking, Josh, me, you and Jesse getting all smoochy in yesterday's vlog. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you haven't got any hate comments on that.
Not a word.
Because you did, and I thought if he gets anything, I've got to put something in there at some point in time, and then she just happened to be standing next to me, and I'm like, hey, you know where this is going. So... Anyways.
No, that one actually shocked me. I was like, "Oh, he went there." Yeah, he did. I mean, I think that's the beauty of this whole experiment because that's what we're doing. We're just showing our lives, demystifying all of the pastor.
Yeah, right. Yep. Okay, let's get to some other comments here as we're hopping in. Jason Remster saying, "Hello, gentlemen," and he loves the music, which I am glad you love the music. You don't get to hear it unless we do. We could go back to using the Ecamm built-in thing, and that would work because then you'd be able to hear it.
I'd be down. The problem with that one is your face. If I go to glance over at you, which you're over here for me, if I go to glance over at you, you're about that big.
Right. And they are working on that. I do know. That's the one thing I love about Ecamm. We're kind of going on a tangent here, but with Ecamm, they're constantly listening to the community. And when there are people that they're like, hey, we'd really like to see this because of this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. We didn't think about that. We're going to get working on it. So when it came to, built-in interview integration, because right now we're using Skype. If I jump over here to Jared, you see, little Skype logo down there next to him. And we're using Skype, and it works really well. And the only reason that we kind of do it this way is because we can still talk during that countdown, and you guys aren't hearing us, which is fun for Jared and I if we got any little last-minute things. But then with the Ecamm interview mode, they just don't have that in there yet, at least to the best of my knowledge, but I've kind of been out of loop for the last 2 weeks with Ecamm. So they may have released it, at least in beta or something. I haven't updated my beta version, so I don't know for sure, but they're constantly improving and working on things. So.
I'll tell you, as just a viewer, somebody sitting in on live streams that enjoys a good live stream from time to time, you can tell the difference between people who use Ecamm and people who use something else. Because the people who use something else go like this. Hang on just a second. Hold on. If I just do this here. Right. Hold on. I'll be right back with you. And people who use Ecamm go, oh, well, cool, let's bring in this comment. And so says, and you can tell they're just clicking and dragging it over.
Yep.
It's nice.
User-friendly, I'd say. Definitely user-friendly. Dean Lentini saying, hey, guys, me and the wife got our coffee. Excited to watch today's episode. We're excited to have you with us and being a part of 3 videos now today. Because... Dean gave us the comment for today's vlogs over on my channel, over on your channel, and the first of our audience asked questions. So,
Dean, I was tired last night whenever I was uploading and making sure that everything was ready to launch. I forgot to put your channel on the end tags and throughout the video. I'm sorry, man. That's my bad.
I completely spaced it off as well. Guess what we're going to be doing as soon as we get off this live stream?
We'll fix it.
We're going to give him some love, put him in the end screen, put him in a card, and all that good noise.
You've asked a lot of great questions. You've interacted with us quite a bit. So I think we need, it's just right. You stuck your neck out there to say, I'm willing to ask the questions, the hard questions.
Absolutely. But Dennis Poulette's not going to get any love on this because he keeps making fun of the way I look.
Sorry, what was that? We had a bit of an in-house.
I was saying Dennis doesn't get any love because he keeps making fun of my looks. So we're not giving Dennis any love. Although I will say that I didn't give Dennis any love, so maybe it's just kind of, returning. He had me over on his podcast, on his channel, and as soon as he, uploads a clip, immediately gets a thumbs down. So something about my face, apparently it's just repulsive to some people. So I'm good with that because I love the hate.
Nice. You do, man. You kind of do thrive off of the negative comments. You're like, bring it.
I do, but and part of that I think is a little bit of the biblical aspect of me, the fact that Jesus says, if they hate you, just know that they hated me first. And it's like, right. Oh yeah, they really hated him. So if they hate me, I must be doing something right.
The beauty is, it's not like, for the most part, up until now, it hasn't been like a theological thing. It's been like, I hate your face.
Right. No, some of it has been theological. They're like, you talked about unicorns in the Bible. There aren't horses shooting rainbows out of their butt with a horn on their head. This isn't My Little Pony stuff. That's demonic. And I'm like, you didn't even watch the video, imbecile.
Right.
People getting me riled up. People like Andy McMillan asking if everything came out okay. It did. It was smooth.
Oh, jeez. All right. Deb.
Yep.
Deb, where's the shepherd's crook thing? Come on, let's do this.
See, and Mike has even abandoned me, so I've got nobody in here to regulate me at this point. Although Jen is saying with the whole hand thing, we like to gross out our kids. So
that was okay. I loved it. For the record, it was a little jarring that the next, like the cut was, I think Micah was behind you or something. Whoever was behind you was like, how long she been there?
Well, the hand was there a whole lot longer. She just didn't even realize it because I didn't say what I was doing. I mean, people knew, but she had, and so she was just walking around to try to get behind in the camera to show her coffee, and then saw the hand, and she's like, ew. Don't touch her butt. So, Vaughn Sanders saying, yo.
Vaughn.
At least that was my interpretation of...
I went, yo. Way to go, Vaughn.
There we go. Vaughn, good to see you. Tomlinson Road saying, hey, hey, hey. That's probably not how they said it.
Well, it depends on if it was Luke or Becca.
That's the way that I wanted to say it. That's just the way that I hear your comments. I'm apparently doing that all day now. I'm just doing that. So, John Hay saying Genevieve kind of like Josh in his video this morning. Yes, that exactly. We love grossing out the kids. Dennis, I'm more telling you how your daughter is awesome. Okay, all right. I'll give Dennis some love now. Talking about my awesome daughter. I like it. Dean saying, "Aw, shucks, guys, wasn't expecting that. Just appreciate your answers." Dean, we appreciate the question.
Yeah, man.
That was like a perfect way to kind of kick some things off, especially with the holiday season. We won't say the fact that it was the only real question that we had, last week, but
there's so much truth to that, man, because like we're not just shouting out to the void. We want to know what questions you guys have that would be relevant to our audiences. Like, what do you guys want to know? And it was nice to have a serious question. And that's not the only one. There's been
no. We've had yours was one of the first ones that popped up. We've had other questions. Some of them we are going to get to. Others we're not going to get to. Whether Jared just calls an audible on it or I call an audible, probably me, because like I said, some of the stuff it's kind of off goal or direction for what we're trying to do on the channel. And then there are other questions that are very deep theological stuff that I just don't feel like YouTube is the proper place for that, because all it's going to do is cause more division because of it being more in a public nature. And I found when it comes to a lot of the big theological differences or the minutia of doctrine, sometimes there's such miscommunication with them that it's good to have like one-on-one individual conversations. So if there's not an understanding, you can try to seek understanding. And a vlog it doesn't work that way. But that's just my thought. Andy McMillan saying that my face is glorious like silk from the Old Testament tabernacle. And that's how I heard his voice in that comment. Trey Van Camp. Oh, he's stepping it up. Trey Van Camp is doing it. Yeah! Are your headphones up too loud? Micah's over here going, don't do that. Don't do that. Yes. Okay. So Thomas Rhodes saying, well, not exactly like that. And look at that. There's my dad hopping in. We've been trying to get him on this chat for a while. He's always watching the replays and wanting to comment in the live and isn't able to make it on there. So he told me the other day, he's like, you're going on Thursday, right? I'm like, yep. And then he's like, okay, 10:30? Yep. As close to 10:30 as we ever get. And then I sent him a message just a little bit ago. I was like, hey, just a reminder, we're getting ready to go live. And he has made it. He's here for the Abbott and Costello. Although today we are not the Abbott and Costello, which I think will lead us straight to where we should be getting. It's time for us to roll the intro and really get this party started. Y'all ready for this one? Here we go.
Roll it.
Welcome to the VlogMAS podcast, a podcast all about the stories and strategies of sharing God's love in the digital world. Now, here are two pastors that love to put a camera in their face and walk around in public. They are the Hall and Oates of digital ministry, Jarrod Brown and Joshua Verwers.
Oh, that's right, and I have no idea what we just did in this little thing, but that was kind of funny looking right there. Anyways, I'm Joshua Verwers. This guy to my right is the one and only Jarrod Brown. My right, your left as you're watching this. We are the Vlogpastors, and you find yourself right here on a Vlogpastors podcast, episode number 30.
30, I believe. Ooh. I would have gotten that one right if you'd asked me. The first one ever.
The first one that you have actually got would have been this one. So at least now you know. So next week, I'm just going to pause and wait.
It'll be gone. Next week, I'll be like, episode 30. Brand new. Every day's brand new for me.
Yes, absolutely. For those that are listening to the audio replay, if you want to check us out live, you can do so over at youtube.com/Joshua Verwers every Thursday at approximately 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And you get to join in the chat and help, kind of steer the conversation like so many that we've got here hopping in. Jason Remster, Dean Lentini, Dennis Poulette, Deb Verwers, Andy McMillan, Vaughn Sanders, Genevieve, Tomlinson Road, John Hayes, Trey Van Camp, Doran Verwers. We're all here. We're hanging out. And then, of course, you've got the one and only Bite a Brownie. When, oh, Bite of Brownie, are we going to rebrand that channel?
I don't know. Soon-ish, but maybe not ever.
That's the perfect answer. Soon,
probably
but maybe not
as
ever.
Humanly possible until I forget and do something else.
I think here's my prediction. You are going to rebrand your channel with the same speed of Adorama trying to ship a Sony A7S III.
I know where you're going with that. Oh, yeah, man.
Yep.
2.5 months I waited. 2.5 months I waited for that bad boy right there.
Yep,
it was worth
that's right. We also got Thinking Out Loud with PJ, Pastor Josh Putnam, if I remember right. He's hanging out there. Look at that. Yes. Did you guys hear what Jarrod just said?
I'm just saying, they didn't email me back. I'm gonna give them a phone call today. But
I cut you off. You need to repeat that again. I'm going to be silent.
They did not email me back.
Before that, what did you say?
That's all I said. I'm just talking a little insider information to you. They did not email me back. So I'm thinking Monopoly rules, man.
Wait. Do that scene again. Do that one more time.
You're gonna screen capture it, and then I'm gonna have to.
No, I'm not gonna screen capture. Other people can screen capture.
Oh, here.
You just happen to be full screen. You just happen to be full screen. That right there is the thumbnail for the video you better make. That one. That right there. Actually, I am going to screen capture that now.
Come on, man. I'm not posing. Hey, posing.
No, I'm seriously, I'm going to screen capture that. And you know why I'm going to screen capture that? Because I'm actually going to edit that thumbnail for you. I'm going to send it over. And then that's going to force you to make that video if you haven't already started.
Tell them, I've got your camera. Come and get it.
Anyways, good stuff there. I'm liking it. Okay, so Genevieve saying, okay, maybe it's me, but you guys look a little granny.
Granny?
I think she's talking about Granny, but I'm going to guess it's her. And if it's not her, that's just because we're old.
Also, my internet speeds.
Probably
very real,
me, though.
Very real contributing factor. Oh, no. It's on my phone, too. Super grainy.
Well, if that's the case, then we can do one of two things. We can blame it on Ecamm, or we can blame it on
Mexico.
Something else. I don't know. I mean, over here, I'm looking, because I'm streaming, like, I'm looking at this, and it looks, just check your quality settings if you're there, because I'm looking over on my other monitor. Micah, what do you think? I'm going to go full screen over here. That's 1080p. That looks good to me. I mean, it's not quite as crisp as this, but it's really crisp. So, I think it looks good. I think it's other devices.
In answer to Andy's question, which you'll get to in just a second, I happened to glance across it. It's bigger. It's bigger than a 1 bite. It's like a fill your whole mouth up, but you still want to go back for more bite of brownie. That's the best kind right there. That's the best kind. Because those little 1 bites is too small. You just can't quite get the job done. But it's just a little bit bigger.
Yeah. It's a bite of brownie. It's not the whole brownie.
It's not the whole brownie.
And it's not a bite-sized brownie.
Control here.
It's just a bite.
Sheesh.
Good stuff. Let's see if there are any other comments that we had here to kind of pop in. Vaughn saying, I love how your families support you on YouTube. Mine are still not sure how YouTube works. Hey, let's get to that. He didn't even ask a question, but I see a question in there, Jared.
I do too.
How do you help get the family supportive? What have you learned over the years and years and years of YouTubery?
Well, one, I know your family loves you. Your wife probably, has a special place in her heart for you, unless there's some trouble in paradise type of thing. And my wife is much the same. She could care less about YouTube. She's not on it. The only reason she watches it is because I'm on it and Josh is on it. She'll pop in and watch our particular channels. That's it. But she's excited about the things that I'm excited about. So whenever a guy named Casey Neistat came out, I watched all of his videos, and Peter McKinnon, and I watched all the videos. And whenever I would talk to her, I would be talking about, because I'm excited about, I'm passionate about, possibly communicating the message that God has given us through this particular medium. And she got excited about it. She's interested in what I'm interested in. So I think if we're bold enough to share our hearts with our spouses and our kids, that this is interesting to us and it's a potential medium for God to inhabit, that it could be really cool. And I think she's enjoyed being on camera. She doesn't like editing. She doesn't want any part of all that. She doesn't want any part of running the camera. She just wants to, if she has to, point and shoot. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to put too much on her, but she doesn't mind hanging out with me and throwing a camera up. Took a little convincing in the early days, but for the most part, I would say if you're passionate about it, it's something that you talk about a lot. It's something that you think God can use. I think your wife and I think your kids are going to be passionate about it as well. At least interested enough to give you a little room to try it out.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. And I think a lot of that from our end and how I've helped do that was really just making sure that I could convey why it was important to me. And that's the thing, like for other people, the things that my kids are interested in, I'm not necessarily interested in, but I'm interested in them. And so when they're interested in something, I just kind of try to figure it out. And when I can understand why they're interested in it, it's easier to be supportive of that. Same thing with my wife. Same thing. I mean, it's almost like vision casting, in ministry. If you can really effectively cast that vision, it's the whole, Habakkuk 2:2, that write the vision, make it plain, so those that read it can run with it. And I think when I was able to, like you said, with my wife and with our church, with the family, really convey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is why I'm trying to do it. They got supportive of it. So floating coffee.
Oh, there it is. Get it.
And... So yeah, I would say, yeah, you just try to cast that vision to them and say, hey, you may not understand all the nuances and everything, but this is how I'm looking at doing it. This is kind of where I think God's leading me for it, and this is why. And mine has even changed quite a bit too. So it was like I was all about, when I hopped on, thinking I got to go after the young teens and the young adults, and all of a sudden it was like, no, I'm not an evangelist. It's just like, that's just not my gifting. That's not my calling. The one thing I would say that I'm more effective at doing is breaking down biblical principles and practical ways, and doing that by just saying, here's what I do. Maybe it works for you. And if it doesn't, oh well. So,
dude, that's so true though, man. That's very similar to mine. Mine, Jesse's. We thought we were going to be reaching the Gen Z and that crew, and we got into it and we realized, oh, really? If you want to break down our ministry here, it's that God can use a donkey. Not really. That's too far. It's that really. I mean, it's that
there's a comment coming from Andy McMillan now.
We're willing to fail a lot, over and over and over and over publicly, and God seems to honor that. And I think whenever you look at our channel, you can go. I think for the most part, people look at us and go, we could do that, and we could do that maybe a little bit differently or a little bit better in this area, or I think we could communicate this a little bit more effectively, because for the longest time, what was a year or so, which was why that whole vlog yesterday was so powerful. We had a cell phone. I mean, slammed it up in our faces and went with it. Yeah, it's a thing, man.
It works, but I never want to do that.
For everybody,
cell phone.
I don't, dude. No. Wasn't that so refreshing? To like whenever you put it up, you're like, oh yeah, I remember why. Because like when you first get started, you're like, okay, cell phone. I have all I need with a cell phone. But whenever you've tasted from the camera and the audio and the production side of it, you're like, I can't ever go back. You couldn't hear half that video. Of course, you couldn't hear my video today. I'm in a coffee shop and my lav went out, and I'm like.
So it went out, and I watched where it says, audio fail in like 3, 2, 1. But I don't know what it is with the mixing. I actually liked it once it went out.
Gymnastics, man. I probably because with the lav mic, I just slapped on the standard features. Yeah. And whenever you had that grinder going on in the background with the onboard Canon, I'm still using Canon, by the way. Onboard Canon mic, it was like scratchy nasty.
It was. The grinder got me, but the tone of your voice sounded a little bit better to my ears. But yes, it was very noisy.
See, that's the stuff we geek out about whenever.
We do. Well, and that's like, I keep going back and forth between mics. I bought that Deity D4 Duo, and I've got the Rode Video Micro, and I go back and forth. And I've done powered mics, and I've even got this mic. I love this mic. I typically don't do anything other than like the tutorials, the podcast with this mic. I just like those tiny little shotgun mics. Yeah. But I can't decide which one I like better, the Deity or the Rode. I'm literally back and forth all the time on it.
I know you're going to make a video for What Joshua one day, but give us the loyal folks of Vlogpastors. What's your favorite right now?
I have no idea.
You don't have one that you lean towards? One that's either more convenient or one sounds better to you?
No. Like literally it's back and forth. The moments like in today's vlog where I was talking to Duchess and she's laying on the bed, that was the Rode. If it was the Deity, you would have heard me a whole lot better because it's got the dual capsules, the dual mics on it. But whichever one is laying closest to the camera at the time is the one that gets picked up. And I don't care which one. They're both so good. And
I haven't really noticed a reason. I know that whole rear-facing mic is awesome for a Deity and you can hear yourself clear. But when I'm shooting from behind and I want to say something, I go from out here filming to up here filming. I don't know if you do the same. So it's negligible.
It is I do that, but I have a hard time doing that because I'm so ingrained with looking at my LCD screen to shoot everything. And so getting too close to it, it bothers me. So I like having it farther out when I'm behind the camera. I don't know. I will have some videos coming out over on What Joshua about the Deity and doing a Rode and Deity comparison. And really, when I'm doing comparisons over there, I'm trying to be as fair as humanly possible. Got another one going to come out about this podcast. You know, Mike Boomarm, the Podcast Pro, comparing it to the Blue Compass because I still haven't. I have it. I haven't sold it yet, but it's going to be going out the door. But it's still not a bad boom arm, and that's I think the hard part with a lot of tech out there. And here's where it gets into the cell phone. You've got to understand your use case. Mm-hmm. Just because somebody else uses that thing doesn't mean you need to use that thing. And like when we were talking to you, I don't know how much of this we'll get into, but when I've been pushing you so hard to get away from Canon and go over to Sony, it's because I understand your use case.
Right.
And because of that, I'm like, Canon is crippling what you're able to do, and it's making you work harder. Sony's where it's at for you. And telling you flat out, you need that A7S III. That's just, if you can afford that, go get that, or multiple. But and for a B cam, the A6600 is a good one. For my main cam, the A66, do I need an A7S III? No. For my use case, I don't use it, need it. It's a little bit. Could I benefit from it? Would I put its features to use? Absolutely. But do I really need it? No. Is it going to work for my use case? No. And so then when it comes to, the mics, like if somebody is never going to stand behind a camera and give POV where they need a microphone aimed at them and aimed on the other side simultaneously, then you probably don't need the Deity D4 Duo. If you are going to have those moments, you might want to look at that thing because it is so nice. I mean, it really is. But there are times that I know it's just me and I'm not going to be filming anything from behind it. And if the Rode is right there, and I just grab that thing and pop it on. So that's
what a great pairing of channels. I'm pretty sure most of you guys here in the stream, at least right now to date, live, have probably been over to see the What Joshua channel, but what an amazing pairing of here's what we're doing on this channel. Here's life behind the scenes. Here's what it's like to be a pastor in ministry, a digital ministry, and physical. And if you want to know how I do that, it's over there on What Joshua, because man, you have an infinite supply of questions. I got 100 about this thing. I tell you what, I even fired it up. I have not even fired it up, I have fired it up, but I haven't recorded anything on it, and it's already better.
All you need is if you had like some type of a daily vlogging challenge where you could put that thing through the paces and really learn how to use it in a short time frame.
If I was inspired, like say maybe if there was like a B-roll challenge or something like that coming up, if I was inspired to do something like that, I think I would get out and film Christmas lights and snow and that sort of thing. I think that'd be fun to do. But I wouldn't want to do it alone.
Yeah, test with a camera like that you're not used to. This is a new ecosystem. And having been on Canon with the M50 and jumping over to Sony with the A6600, there's a learning curve.
Oh my word, there is.
There is a learning curve.
And the menus.
But you see, and I've got old Sony menus. You've got the new Sony menus, which everybody that's used the new Sony menus say it's so much better. Mine is confusing. I'm just glad that at least I've got enough shortcuts and custom menu options that I can put in there. So all of the stuff that I need and I know I'm going to be needing on a regular basis, I can now manage it with a hand on the back side of the camera just reaching around.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It took me 30 minutes to find the white balance. If you made a video that said, here's my layout, here's to customize the different buttons and functions, here's where the menus are. Oh,
Donna did it. Donna did it.
I just got through Gerald Undone. So, and
Donna did
Potato
it.
Jets.
Nope. Dunna did it.
His is good, huh?
Everything in my A6600 is set up almost identical to what Dunna did it. There were a couple features that he did that I don't need because of his use case and that I wanted in elsewhere. But at least with the A6600, it's a full comprehensive, here's the menu, here's how I'm setting up, here's where my shortcuts are, here's where my custom buttons are, here's how I'm using them. And I watched that, I implemented it, I just copied most of it. And he even went in with like some custom picture profile settings and where he puts the saturation at and different things like that. So good, like so good. It comes from somebody who uses it similar to what we use it as.
Gotcha. Okay.
And because of that, that's like, I mean, Gerald Undone, if you guys want somebody that knows all of the technical in and outs and will break things down, like when it comes to color profiles and color grading, Gerald Undone is crazy. And it's so good. But somebody that uses it, I was so impressed with Dunna's that it is one of them that I have saved, I have bookmarked, I've went back and watched it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. And it's just good. It's really good. So I'm assuming his A7S III is equally as good. It's just long. Be prepared for like a 30-40 minute video because he's taking you
2
through.
times speed. 2 times speed, baby. Which is not a big deal. I mean, Gerald's was like 49 minutes. Even Potato Jets was like 30-something minutes. Yeah. And then Matt Johnson's was 30-something minutes. So,
And Matt Johnson would probably have some stuff for you as well because he does a lot of the wedding and the production stuff.
He helped me out on SD cards.
Yeah. Yep.
On knowing which SD cards to buy, not wasting money. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think we've probably geeked it up pretty.
We have geeked it up, but this kind of leads into some of what we wanted to talk about today, where we're talking about, trying new things. If you looked at the thumbnail, we have these straining type faces because challenges push us. We are in this monthly challenge. VlogMAS. How's it going for you, Jared?
Man, yes. So we were talking about, I think I sent you an Instagram message or something about, or maybe it was on, I don't know. We communicate so often. We'll just call it,
right.
I sent you something.
Yep.
So I sent you something, and I was saying I like this part of the challenge because there's a cycle if you've done a few of these. There's the first push where you're pulling out all the stops and you're doing motion tracking and you're having fun being creative in those types of ways. But and you're on time. You're on target. Maybe you're a little bit ahead. Maybe you're a day or 2 ahead, and you're really making all the videos that you want to make and the way that you want to make it, and that's fun. I'm enjoying this part. I know what comes next.
Oh yeah,
because I feel the sputtering, like I'm hitting that whole. I'm catching up with the videos now. For instance, the one that we have coming out tomorrow is going to be mostly filmed today, edited tonight because we have meetings after this.
Yep.
Edited tonight, be a late night, early morning post type of thing. And I like it. And I also like the way that we laid it out this year. I love the format. I love, not necessarily, I think I could improve the back and forth on my end as far as incorporating videos. But I like the layout that everything's planned. We know what's coming. Maybe that's not shot, but at least we're thinking about some ideas. That's a lot more fun rather than just off the cuff, which has its place because you get the off the cuff reaction of it.
Yeah.
But some of these challenges are going to be really, really fun. I mean, I don't know. I think and it's also been good because the first couple of videos have not necessarily, from my perspective, played to my strengths. So they've really forced me to jump in the water of like the cell phone. You can't get caught up in the minutia of production quality with the cell phone. It is what it is. Just get it made and get it out there.
I get caught up in it and it drives me insane. And then I see Diana Gladney posting, in her VlogMAS group over on Facebook and saying, if the video isn't at the quality you want, just hit publish anyways. You got another one the next day. And I'm like, I'm going to have to do that with this cell phone video because I hate it. It's disgusting.
Well, you've been saying that before. You're like, hey, I'm cool with the 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
For VlogMAS. I mean, normally if it's a regular video and you get to spend a couple days on it, we want to put a little bit more work in it. But for VlogMAS, I'm cool with the 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that, when you said that, I get it. I've heard it before, but to hear you say it, it kind of stripped my gears a little bit. I'm like, I don't know that I could do that, but it's what I'm doing.
Well, and it is what we do, because here's our option. We either push it out when it's good enough, or sometimes just bad enough, or we miss a day. And that's where we have to really look at this as a challenge, and what is the goal for the challenge. That's where I love trying new things as much as they make me uncomfortable, and I don't like trying new things. I like comfort. I like what I'm used to. I don't want to grab a new camera. I don't want to try a new system. I don't want to buy a MacBook. I don't want to do daily vlogging. I don't want to go back to a cell phone. All of these things, but I know it makes me grow. It makes me stretch. It makes me improve. And because of that, man, these challenges are fun. And it's like people that are getting in on YouTube, one of my big things is you need to do some type of a daily challenge. It doesn't have to be Veda, Vlogust, Vlogmas if you want. If you can't commit to that long, that's fine. Do 7 days.
Yeah.
Do a week. Do 5 days even. But you need to commit to doing a challenge where you keep cranking out the content, because that's the fastest way for you to improve and learn.
Much is learned. I mean, editing skills, the way that you present yourself on camera, there's so much to be learned, and it can be done in a short period of time. Because I find, and this is another phase that we talk about, you have the beginning phase of this is awesome, and then it starts to catch up with you and you're struggling to stay afloat. But then there's this where you're mass producing, and it could be a day or two, or it could be an entire week depending on your challenge. But you're just, I don't know if this is the same for you, but for me, I'm trying to survive because I've fallen behind, or something's come in the way, life's happened, and I'm now just trying to get out the video for the day, and I'm cutting as many corners as humanly possible to get the story and sequence done. And sometimes I've found that people really love that because it's just the raw, it's the meat and taters, or it's just unpolished, our lives. And sometimes I've found that, like, I'm disappointed in it because I didn't grow in that particular season. I wasn't challenged. I was just hitting copy paste. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that?
This is anytime I typically do that. I get in that rut where it is the copy paste method, where I'm just so used to it. I started this Vlogmas as copy paste moment, and I hit a wall yesterday where I had spent 8 hours trying to edit that video.
That was worth it, though.
But here's the thing: the motion tracking, that took me 30 minutes.
What?
That took me 30 minutes.
Witchcraft. What?
30 minutes, no joke. Like, I had Logan coming in, and I was like, "Look how easy this is." And I showed him. I was like, "It's doing all the work for me. All I got to do is select here, and then I just tell it to analyze the footage, make sure it's a contrast. Then I just whip this over and parent."
That no, that's near impossible. I get it. I'm glad it worked out for you. But for those of us that know the masking and the tracking, and even that you did all of that in After Effects, and how clean it looked, there were only like a handful, maybe 1 or 2 stutters and drops where it auto adjusted really quickly. That's really, really hard.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, I could have spent more time on that to get rid of those stutters. I didn't care. That was a 7 out of 10 for me.
That would have been a 10 out of 10 for me. I mean, that's awesome.
But
which I guess would be relative, wouldn't it?
Well, 30 minutes was that section. I'm good with spending 30 minutes on an After Effects composition for that. I'm not okay with the minute or the 2 minutes and 20 seconds before that kicked in. I had spent 7 hours on it. And I'm looking at this, and I get back, and I was like, what is wrong with me? What have I done? And I let little things get in my way of my editing. Because I used to have a whole vlog I would have edited in an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
And now all of a sudden I'm like 8 hours. So I got back and I'm like, I need to get back to the basics of why I do things, how I do things. And it was like, I can't keep up this pace if we're going to be doing this whole thing. And especially tomorrow's video, I was like, no, I mean, I can't, if I've spent this much time, that's not going to work. Mm-hmm. And then it started to, I was like, I've got to get back to the basics. I've got to figure out what is the most important thing. And it was like, as soon as I started asking myself these questions, what is necessary? What do I have to keep? What can I disregard? And for me, it was a simple answering, there has to be a story inside this. Or I have to have a point to it. And if I can get that, the rest is just icing. And as soon as I did that, I was like, oh, wait, I need to scrub through my footage and make sure I've got all my clips at least cut and the story is there. So if I don't get the other stuff, at least there's something. I may not have the transitions. I may not have everything. And once I did that, then it was, I think, 30 minutes after that for the last half of the video. And it was just cranking it out. So I've got to constantly, for myself, go back and hit that why again. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? If I'm not asking myself why, I'm going to get stuck in a rut. I'm going to waste time. I'm going to regret every decision that I've ever made in life at that point.
For real, because I mean that's a significant danger in VlogMAS. 1 second.
Yep, no problem. I want to get to a couple of these comments that we had here real quick to kind of go on here. Andy was asking about the Deity D4 Duo and the Rode Video Micro on the price. Rode Video Micro, I just kind of looked it up real quick. Looks like you're going to be getting it about $60 as you can pick those up, and the Deity D4 Duo is going to be about $90. So there is a price difference. Audio quality to my ear, they sound very close. So you've got to think. The only other option that you would have for doing what Deity D4 Duo does, where it points a mic that way and it points a mic this way, and because the one pointing back at you, Micah, can you find my other little mic, the one that has the yellow cable? The one with it coming with you is because it's got the dual mic capsule and that one is closer to you, it's automatically adjusted down, and it will let you either record those as a stereo where they're both together, or it will be as a mono, so a left and a right channel. That's nice. It's nice to have because sometimes there are different moments. It's going to pick up a fuller sound. But the only way for you to do that without a mic like that is you're going to have 2 mics. And if you want that audio quality, I know there are people that say that there are some other like Movo or, different brands like that that are similar. I've heard people with them, they don't sound as good. They just don't. I'm going to pick one up and try it, the one that everybody's recommending just because I can. But I don't think it sounds as good. And for me, audio, when it comes to the whole thing, audio is the most important.
Yeah.
Audio is more important than a grainy video. I can lose the grain. We can black out. We can do whatever on here. But as long as the audio is still there, people can still kind of follow along with the conversation. So at that, 2 mics, and you look at, the Rode mic, you basically be looking at $120 for it to do the same thing, plus probably a $10 adapter to try to get it. Could it work? Yes. But I also like simplicity. I like things to go down. The microphone should be in there. I don't know where it's at.
What?
It was here.
It just, like you said, it just depends. I'll give you 2 examples. Like slamming this bad boy. What is this? Rode Video Mic Pro Plus, whatever. The old flagship of Rode of about 2 years ago. It's nice to put it up on top of your camera and not touch it again. But if the wind's blowing, you're still going to get some wind noise. If you're further than an arm, it needs to be on you, especially when we were in that coffee shop yesterday. You're not even going to be able to hear this very well. It helps, but it's not the best. If you want to just go with something simple and cheap, just put it up there, matches with everything in post. This little guy, a lavalier microphone. It's old school. Nobody likes to use it because you don't want to be mic'd up. It's weird. It's like you're informing for the FBI, but man, it's unshakable.
Yeah.
You at least could hear me. I had to do a lot of limbo to bring up those sound levels in the coffee shop so that you could hear it.
Right.
Not with a lav. Lav, that's straight out of the lav. The other part.
Yeah. And with this thing, I found the DDD4 Duo. Just to give you an example, I also like small. I like compact. And here, let me go over this way. Even with the wind muff, that thing... Now, granted, I would say this wind muff does a little bit better job, but you take those off, and granted, you've got two of these because you've got two different capsules. And...
Look at that. Look at those tiny things. I want that little one. But the red one.
Oh, this thing is still like, it's absolutely...
I know. Everybody swears by them.
Amazing. And the good part about both of these mics is you don't need batteries. You never have to worry about the Casey Neistat batteries failing on him because he forgets to plug it in or charge it or it just went dead. You plug them in and they're good to go. But essentially, either one, you're not going to go bad or go wrong with it. And especially, you might actually, Jared, want to look more like one of these. Because
I cannot get on board with that. There's too many multi-channels, and is that a lav input?
Yeah, it's also got that lav input right there.
Believe it or not, what you just said about size is what I'm after. What's the size comparison? Show me one more time.
Let's see if I can. There we go.
There it is. Because even that, it's not that much of a difference, but even that, ooh, yeah, pretty close. Pretty close.
I mean,
It matters, though, when you start to lug these things around in public and you're trying to do a gimbal. Maybe you're trying to do a gimbal shot and you've got this giant. Yes? What do we got right there? Okay, I see you.
Is it gonna focus?
I think we got it.
Get off my eyeball.
There it is.
With that sticking out the back, there's no difference in size. If anything, the Rode sticks out just a hair farther. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, weight, they're the same. Size, they're the same. Gimbals, a big thing, because like you were talking about with the gimbals, you want a microphone on there. You need compact. You need something small. And you can't have a lot of weight.
Well, by the time, and I don't want to whip out all this stuff, but by the time you have your GorillaPod, and by the time...
GorillaPod.
Yeah, I know. It's still, find me a better option. I know what's it called? SwitchPod. It's got to be perfectly level. You're going to be setting it on concrete. So by the time you've got a GorillaPod, and by the time you've got a camera on top of the GorillaPod, and by the time you then have this guy on top of the GorillaPod, on top of the camera, it's a monster. It's a monster. So if you can save weight and space, it's worth it.
Which then is one of those good things about when we try to do these challenges, we do find out, like you said in your vlog yesterday, there's something convenient about just having your phone, just whipping that out and just recording yourself. It's easy. It's something that people aren't going to, what are you doing? I mean, I get that all the time.
Which is unnoticeable, I think. Yeah. I think it's unnoticeable if you mix in a little cell phone stuff. Yeah, nobody ever says, what are you doing whenever you're walking around with a cell phone? They kind of understand you're either Instagramming or you're vlogging or whatever. And for some reason, it's cool with the cell phone. Whenever you break out the camera and the GorillaPod and the audio up top, the dead cat up top, it's an attraction.
Yep.
Which could be good if that's your style, but I don't think it's detrimental to any of your videos or my videos that I've seen where you pop in a quick segment of cell phone because that's what you had with you.
Right.
I just know that we like to have the majority of it a little higher quality.
Yeah, and I think you
it's
like
the action.
Okay. Casey Neistat, one of the greatest quotes. We always come back to Casey Neistat. Why? Because he's the vlogger of vloggers. He's
a granddaddy.
He's the vlog master general. And because of that, it's like he set the bar. You want to know what a day in the life or a lifestyle vlog or even a storytelling vlog looks like. You want to know who defined what vlog really looks like. Casey Neistat.
Mhm.
And I have heard him say over and over and over again, the best camera is the one that you have with you.
Yep.
Because when you're wanting to hit record, what do you have with you? Now, if you have multiple cameras, that's where the best camera is the one that can do the best job. That's not always a DSLR. I've done like some great B-roll with this because this thing does like, 8x slow-mo. So like super slow-mo. And motion time lapses, this does a better job than that is. Plus, I can just set it up in the phone holder on my car and press like, hyperspeed or hyperlapse or whatever it calls and just drive. Import that footage, no big deal. And that's one of those benefits of having it. So it's really the best camera that you've got with you that is going to do the job that you need it to do. And that just kind of varies at times. So that was one of the benefits of us doing that, is it helped me remember, like my favorite shot that you did. What'd you do? Stick that down next to like the wall or the trash can on the ground?
I linked it up on the wall and a trash can.
Yep. I was going to say, you were at like Big Lots and Harbor Freight, and I've been around enough of those to know that you're either looking at a pillar or a trash can, and the trash cans are usually up next to the building where the pillars are farther out. So I was guessing trash can. And it works. And Casey Neistat would grab his phone and like wedge it into chain link fences and things like that to try to hold it, or just set it on a ledge and watch it tumble and fall. It works.
Which is part of the story. Yeah.
And it worked great for B-roll. Like, it was perfect. And that's what I love my cell phone for, is grabbing some B-roll. We'll get back to B-roll here in a second. Vaughn said in a question, he said that he recently heard someone say that VlogMAS was pointless. What's your goals with it? So let me answer my goals first, and then Jared will give you the floor on yours. I would say my goals for VlogMAS is twofold. I look at a goal for me personally. I look at a goal for the audience. The goal for the audience is I want them to have some entertaining, encouraging, and edifying content to watch this holiday season. I want to give them something that has more substance to it than what you typically will see on TV. I would like to think that my vlogs have more substance than the Hallmark Christmas movies. I know that's a hot take, but that's what I would like to believe. And if you disagree, well, fight me in the comments on it. But that I want to offer something for the audience that it says, well, that was fun to watch. I want it to be one of those moments in their day that they watch that, whether it be 4, 8, 10 minutes, whatever, and they're like, that was fun. Just a little thing. And to have that with the Christian perspective of, I want it to produce something beneficial, whether it's just encouragement, whether it was just entertainment, whether it helps them have a good day, whether it makes them think about something that could then lead to a big life change, whatever. That is what they're going to take out of it. I just want to offer that content. For me personally, I know that daily video challenges stretch me in such a fast way. It is like School of Hard Knocks at hyperspeed, because you have to step it up. And I always try to improve. So now I'm improving the quality, at least one thing in every single video. And it's taking what would normally take me, 5-6 months to learn. And I've got it done in a few weeks.
Easy.
So those are my goals. How about you, Jared? What's your goal with VlogMAS?
Very, very similar, man. I would say for the audience, there's a community gathered here. I mean, you guys are here on a Thursday morning, mid-morning, watching us jabberjaw about something, because you've probably seen one of our vlogs or came from a community where somebody else saw one of our vlogs, and I don't know, for some reason you're here, and it's either inspiring, entertaining, or you see something that we're doing that you're going, I can do that, or maybe God's calling me to do that. And well, like I said earlier on, Jesse and I on our channel, it's like we're running into a wall. We're running through a brick wall, or we consider ourselves the forerunners for what's going to be coming out as far as digital media
Mhm.
on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, that sort of thing.
Right.
And we want to show you that it can be as simple as a cell phone. It can be as simple as just sitting down with your friend who lives in Iowa and chatting about stuff, and really trying to encourage people, because there's something between the jibber jabber gobble gobble that we've got going on here that you guys are taking away, that God's using to inspire something, or give you a nugget that you hadn't thought about before. And anytime that's there, I want to be a part of it. I want to fan the flame of that. So I think it's a really cool opportunity, because there is a community there to inspire. I guess my whole philosophy behind this Vlogmas is that I know there's this huge engine of ingenuity
Mhm.
in the people who are watching and learning and kind of beginning to wrestle with the Lord on certain things. And I want to unleash that. I want to show in my own little way, our own sphere, that we're after it. We're being faithful with what He's entrusted to us, and you guys can do the same. So on the audience side, I want to fan the flame of this monster of Christianity. No, I don't say monster,
Yeah.
but this monstrous engine of let's be creative with our Creator,
Right.
be unleashed on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think we have a real. It's a nugget, but it's a real go
Yeah.
at influencing that. Personally, I grow so much, just like Joshua was saying. I grow so much in this time. I mean, we're making not 30. We're making 25 videos. I probably don't make that in the rest of the year. If I'm not vlogging, I grow in my editing skills. I grow in how I shoot. I'm literally what Joshua was saying about the new camera. This is where I'm going to learn how to use my. Here, oh, thank you. I got full screen.
Yeah.
My A7S III, and figure out how to use different lenses, a whole new system. I need to learn that for my business. I would like to have it as a personal skill moving forward in life, and I'm going to learn that in the next 20 some odd day, or however many days we got going on. I don't know what day we're on, day 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think we got 22 more videos to pump out.
I'm gonna learn that stuff. I'm
Yep.
gonna learn it here. I'm listening to a community outside of my own.
Yeah.
So I get to tap into Joshua's audience and find out what questions you guys have.
Yep.
So what is on the heart of the ministry leaders, the pastors, the folks who are really plugged in trying to live by faith? What questions do y'all want answered? And so I get to kind of mine from you guys and go, okay, this is what's on their hearts, and bring that over to my channel and walk that out in a vlog style.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial. Not only, personally I'm growing in skills, but I get a lot out of this.
Yeah.
I get to tap into somebody else's audience and hopefully bring some value to it, but also be able to bring back those nuggets to my channel and
Yep.
share it with my folks.
Agreed. Dean had said that he's heard you guys say that trying a challenge like Vlogmas was helpful for newbies like him. So he's doing his own version and has already found it helpful in developing some skills.
Nice.
Dean found the exact same thing when he did 21 Days of Thankfulness in November. Yeah, which was good. I was telling Vaughn the other day, I haven't caught up on all of his videos, but I watched several of them through the 21 Days of Thankfulness, and I could see improvement. I could see stuff that was happening, and just little things. And it does lead you to really, really kind of improve. But this goes beyond us just as video creators too, because even as Christians, you think about if you've ever done like a real kind of immersive Bible reading plan that's more of a challenge, where it's like, we're going to try to read through this book in these days, or we're going to read through the whole Bible in these days. That commitment that you make, and then trying to follow through with that commitment, it already stretches you so much, whether you've completed it or not. Just going through it is the challenge, and every day having to make it a priority. And then, of course, asking yourself the why. Why am I doing this challenge in the first place? That helps you to maintain and sustain it. When it comes to like weight loss, it's the same thing. We go on these, 30-day, 90-day, diets. We're going to do this here. We're going to try this. We're going to do this new exercise challenge. And those things help us. They help us grow. They stretch us. They improve us. That's kind of what I think. So I like
And
it.
as much as we will inevitably grow tired of the daily grind of it, I don't know about you, but I look back when we're finished
Yeah.
fondly upon the memories that we made,
Absolutely.
the videos that we made,
Yep.
and I kind of long for doing something like that again, which I don't want to go too far, but we hadn't talked about it formally, but I think we're kicking around a similar idea for coming seasons of life. We do it a little bit more regularly.
Yeah. Agreed. Dean says, plus, Vlogmas is just fun, which
Yeah.
it is. Vaughn's saying that you guys are definitely better than Hallmark.
Thanks, man. You must really hate
okay.
Hallmark.
So now he just wants to see us spoof a Hallmark movie.
Spoofing is on the agenda this year.
And if you take Hallmark out of that equation, you might not be too far off. So you got that. Dean saying that we have definitely inspired him as well. One of the other things that I wanted to get back up here, and I was thinking we had something, but I might have missed the actual comment. I'm trying to look through and see if I can find it here. Before we get into the next subject, I do have one other question, and this is directed at you. Dustin, my older brother, has told us that South Carolina has no idea what a tenderloin is. Does Texas know about the tenderloin? And
my good sir.
By tenderloin, I'm talking like a breaded pork tenderloin fritter.
Oh, that's very, very specific.
That's what we call tenderloin up here.
Then I would say yes and no. It's not. It's. I mean, like we do that, but it's not. It's not a main thing. You wouldn't go to a restaurant and get if you ordered a pork tenderloin, it wouldn't necessarily be a breaded tenderloin.
What?
Here's what I say. We go to South Carolina, settle this. Or you come down here and have a good tenderloin. Dude, I want Dustin to come back through. We were chatting about this in the comments on my video today. I want Dustin and his boys to come back through because now that I know that they like to travel and they'll do a little bit of driving, we got some spots in the local area. Oh, boom. It'd be a little bit of driving. I'd say maybe an hour, because local for us is be an hour, 2 hours, that type of thing to get a drive in. But, oh, man, worth it.
I'm trying to pull this up just so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can figure this out once again. Where I know I
just got through bragging on Ecamm. Come on, make it happen.
I'm just trying to get my Google Chrome to actually work. Oh, yeah, that's going to be glorious right there. That one, I like
size. Tenderloins must be the size of a large platter as well. Okay. I definitely no. I don't know what you guys are talking about then.
Oh, get
We're
ready.
talking about the size of a platter.
Get ready. You're about to see that.
No.
Yes.
I mean, no. Hear me. Yes, but no. We don't have anything like no.
See, that is like, and that's actually a small one, by the way.
That's a small one?
That's a small one.
I'll have two. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
yes.
I mean, you get up.
How do I get in the pathway of one of those things? This is common. Where is this? South Carolina or is this Iowa?
This is Iowa. Well, this is
Iowa?
It's a lot of the Midwest. In Iowa, if I believe, we're one of the leading pork producers out there. So of course, we're going to figure out everything that you can possibly do with a pig as far as putting it in your belly. And that thing, oh yeah, like what was it? John saying you should get 7 buns on top of that tenderloin if done correctly. So like even when my grandma just fries tenderloins, an average size bun that you would get, the tenderloin is at least 3 to 4 of those. So yeah, it's.
Gentlemen, stop it. We've got to stop doing this around lunchtime.
Great. See, John's saying Indiana as well.
I was thinking
he did not see him growing up, but
tenderloin. That's about right. You guys are talking.
No, it's got to be as big as your face, bare minimum.
Oh.
If it's not as big as your face, then it wasn't done right.
Stop it! I'm getting excited about this
so
thing.
It's some
that
good
needs
stuff.
to be on the list when I come up there.
Yep. That will definitely, we'll have to add that. So we were talking about challenges, and one of the things that you and I think we should let people know, kind of one of the things we want to do, because these challenges, we're primarily doing it for ourselves as far as pushing us creatively. You saw in Jared's video, he's done the best at explaining kind of the schedule we've got. Run down that schedule again if you remember it, Jared.
Oh man, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is our challenges. Tuesday, Thursdays are our favorite things. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are our favorite things, and Sundays is kind of like how our church
related,
like the church related element of how they interact with Christmas.
Yeah, and Thursdays with the favorite things. That's the one caveat where Thursdays we're doing some audience asked questions as well.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So some of them are the favorite things with the audience asked. It's going to really depend on you guys, the audience. If you've got questions for us, let us know. Make sure you're sending those to us, whether it be here on one of our channels or over on Instagram, kind of the best way to do it. And then we'll be able to feature some of those in those audience asked questions, which we'll kind of put on Thursday, but it might vary. But the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we started on Tuesday. You guys didn't see a Monday. Wednesday, it was cell phone only vlogs, so it was a challenge. Tomorrow is Friday. We're doing a B-roll challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to take this farther, not just for us. We want to challenge you guys this week as well. Let's do a B-roll challenge. Create some good B-roll, whatever B-roll means to you. There's lots of different definitions of B-roll. Yeah. So you add some extra B-roll that you're very intentional about adding that in that challenge. And then we want you to use the hashtag VP challenge. So Vlog Pastors Challenge. Do that and post it. Then share it with us. Let us know, hey, I just did the B-roll challenge. Here's the video. We want to see it. We want to encourage you guys, spur you on, fan that flame as Jared was talking about. We want you to do that because here's my thought on B-roll. A simple thing. I might even say this in tomorrow's vlog. I recorded tomorrow's vlog last week. I think. I don't know when it was. It's already recorded. At least I think it's recorded. Unless I get in to start editing it and I find out, oh, I missed a big chunk. And then I'm going to scrap all that footage and I'll re-record it.
Already happened this year.
Yes, it's happened more than once. So my thought on B-roll. Here's A-roll, B-roll. A-roll, tell. B-roll, show. It's show and tell. And so the B-roll is the stuff that shows what it is you're talking about. And that can be, news stations do a lot of this when you've got the field reporters and they start talking, that's A-roll, and then all of a sudden they cut away and they show the scene that they were just in front of. That's the B-roll. Mm-hmm. Or you could look at B-roll as, Marvel Avengers, and all of a sudden,
cinematic.
Let's go ahead and let's do it. And then all of a sudden you see that cinematic sequence that's coming in where they're grabbing all of their gear and they're pulling on their outfits and they're getting ready and they start to run. That could be the B-roll. It's really up to you. So challenge. Now
I would like to add to that before we go accept.
Please do.
Because I have not filmed mine yet. If parts of it I have. If you get that into VlogPass, if you put a hashtag or if you let me know somehow or another and are able to get your video, your sequence together, maybe not your entire video, but your sequence together to me today, tonight, or tomorrow, even at the latest, tomorrow morning, I'll put it in my videos the next day or two.
Oh, in the videos, yes, yeah.
In the videos.
I was going to say in tomorrow's video?
It will have its own segment, but you need to let me know that either it's coming or that it's ready to go.
Yeah, and same here. You let me know that you've put it up and you've posted it. There's a very likely chance that it's going to get talked about and it's going to get shown. Some way, shape, form, or another, who knows? Maybe we'll even be doing some highlighting next week on the Vlog Pastors podcast.
It'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
So
come on, guys, let's do this.
Let's see what you got. Let's see what you can do. So definitely want you guys to push yourselves, challenge you to get creative.
I want to see Henry's first video.
The what?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, what were you saying?
I want to see Henry's first video.
Henry, he just posted that he has sent me a link to it. He posted
part 2. Make you some B-roll.
I sent you my first video. B-roll. Yeah, and I want to see. I want to see it. And as far as B-roll goes, I told you guys earlier, this phone is my favorite B-roll camera Because sometimes the B-roll is I'm talking about vlogging and how to vlog, and I need an extra camera to record me vlogging.
Yep.
Ding. Set it up on a trash can up next to a building. It works. It works. So yeah, definitely do that. That's going to be a fun one. I want to see people do it. And Genevieve saying, I'm going to try a B-roll on my phone for a story. What could go wrong? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Girl, you know me. I think you should be everywhere, filming all the time.
Yes. Nate, what are you doing in
What
here?
is it?
Flour.
Taking a poop.
No, that's a Duchess. But yeah, so I like these challenges because of that. One stretches us. And when I'm thinking about this, so I did VlogMAS 2 years ago, 2018. And when I did it, one of the fun videos that I did was, well, I did a couple of them, and they were challenges from another at the time, smaller YouTuber, Bert Cullinane. And he used to put out these, I think it was like a Monday challenge that he was doing. And one of them was a silent vlog challenge. And so he had a challenge to record an entire vlog. Obviously, you're wanting to try to tell a story, but you can't use any dialogue. And as soon as I thought about that, I was like, ooh, I see a dog vlog coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And so Flower got her dog vlog. And it was
a great one.
It was fun to make. And it was like, I don't know, like 2-3 minutes, and that's all it was. But it was something that I hadn't thought about doing that. And I was like, how would I be able to tell a story and do it in a fun, creative way without any dialogue?
Yeah.
And that type of a challenge. And then I think there was another one that I did, and it was like a stop motion challenge. So much fun.
I don't remember that one. You did a stop motion?
I did a stop motion, and it was just a segment inside it. And I used that for like, I think it was brewing coffee or something. It was like, what would happen if I did like Jedi mind trick, and I just tell my coffee to make itself. And so it was a little stop motion sequence that I'm sitting there taking photos, pulling up with fishing line, trying to dangle, the coffee as it climbs out of the freezer itself and scatters the beans on the corner. And it was fun to try that. It's something that I'm never going to do again because stop motion is way too much work. But it was fun to try it and really start to figure out what different ways are there for storytelling that matter to me and that work with me. As a pastor, I love putting stories inside the sermons. And so then to challenge myself to communicate in new ways, in different ways, maybe using different phrases or even dialogue that I'm not used to using, it's fun. So that's the challenges. I love the challenges, even though the challenges can be hair-pulling aggravating at the time. Although I guess if it was more hair-pulling, then I wouldn't have to worry about, why have I not got a haircut yet?
I don't know. I cut the top because I didn't realize that it was no shave everything November. I think you're just
no, it wasn't. It was supposed to be this.
I haven't touched the bottom yet, which Andy would be quick to point out that there's not any noticeable change. But anyway, it's crazy for me. I would like to add to your challenge thing that it's an awesome opportunity to meet people. And that may sound weird and backwards because our main goal and intention with ministry stuff, at least for pastors anyways, reaching the masses, reaching folks and growing channels and, more impact, that sort of deal. But I really have been impressed with meeting folks that are like-minded. I know that you hear it on social media out there that you're going to develop internet friends or whatever, but I talk to you and Diana pretty close to as much as the friends that I see face to face every day in real life, and it's real life. Listen to that, in my real world, I'm touching tangible stuff.
Right.
And I tell you, which Jason's calling. Jason, I know you're watching. Stop. So anyway, I would encourage I would encourage you to dive in because you're going to meet people like you're going to meet some jerks out there. But if you try a challenge, there's going to be people who draw alongside with nothing in it for themselves, like you and I have done one another over the years, and go, man, I really like that. Have you tried this? And then all of a sudden you have somebody who's interested in the same thing that you're interested in, and a friendship buds, and now you've made 4 seasons worth of hundreds of videos together. And
Yeah.
anyway. I would just dip your toe in the water if you see a challenge out there. I hopped into
Yeah.
Diana Gladney's Facebook group, and I'm realizing, oh man, even outside of our Vlogpaster
Yep.
little tribe, there's a whole nother sphere of like-minded folks who are about the same business, and it's really encouraging.
Yep.
You don't
Absolutely.
get you don't get burnt out on the grind of like I'm making Vlogmas videos and I'm trying to reach the world and why doesn't anybody watch my videos and all that nonsense.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, something she said about how you and I don't know how many videos we've made together. It's got to be close to, well, it's got to be over 100 now.
It's got to be over 100.
Well, I guess, and actually it's probably 100 for each of us. Because we've done Veda, and we both did, well, no, we've done Veda twice. One of them was a full. One of them you missed a few days in there. So that's April, 30 days. So there's 60, 90, let's say 105 right there.
Vlogist.
And then we did Vlogist, which is another 62 that we did. And then we've done a few here in Vlogmas. And how many different podcasts? Plus, we did another 6 of them in Vegas for season 2.1.
Yep.
Yeah, we've, between the two, I mean, making over 200 videos between our two channels at this point. This type of a collaboration, it doesn't happen without jumping in on stuff, try and put yourself out there, start searching around on Instagram for, pastors or hashtag pastors' wives, and stumble upon Jessica. And I'm like, wait, her husband
Who's
has this cool
Who's
little
this dude
Mavic
messaging?
Monday drone thing. And it was like, ooh, drones are cool. Wait, he's got a vlog channel. I got to check this out. Yeah, finding people, discovering a community that you didn't even realize that was there. Vaughn saying, I love the folks I've met recently in this community. J. Cole saying, amen, Vaughn. Jay, by the way, you did miss the beginning, but that is quite all right. And Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you have some like drone experience as well? I was thinking there was some television production in your background as well, but I was thinking maybe some drone stuff. That's something else that, man, I really got to get a drone. I got to get a drone like fast. So,
Yeah, you're on the countdown.
I'm on the countdown. If Amazon or Best Buy doesn't get it to me, then I guess
not,
I'll just have
we're
to
gonna
go
be
borrow
running
it
around
from a
with-
friend.
We're gonna be running around with monopods and gimbals.
I could possibly, yes. So Jay is saying yes, drone when it first came out. See, that's what I was thinking, that Jay had some drone experience. So there's going to be some drone footage in the vlogs.
Love to pick your brain, Jay, on FPV and what you think about all that, whether it's worth it or not. Just for vlog stuff. I mean, it
depends on what you want. Yeah. So
I think it'd be so cool.
Completely depends on what you want. By the way, Jared, Andy had a question for you. He said, now, when you say no shave everything, what do you normally shave? We'll leave that question right there.
I tell you what.
Andy is so much fun when he comes in here because you never know what you're going to do. John says, I found Jared because Josh challenged Jared to do a year-end review during Vlogmas 2 years ago.
Oh.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. John is an OG follower over here.
Good sir. Wow.
It has been there. And another OG follower that started following me just before that Vlogmas, Diana Gladney. And if I remember right, Diana found me because of Trey Van Camp and I did a collab, and she saw me rocking the Canon M50, and she had the Canon M50 at the time, and she's like, ooh, he's a pastor, he's a vlogger, and he has a Canon M50. I need to know more.
These two cut of the same cloth. They are. We go to that. What was the name of that conference that we went to? Value with Video.
Grow with Video Live.
Grow with Video. Different one. Grow with Video Live. We go to that conference. They see each other down in the lobby area somewhere, and just like from across the room, they're almost shouting like, "I've changed over to Sony. It's A6400. Yeah, me too. No, have you seen the low light capabilities?" And they just the rest of the evening.
Yes.
I sat in the corner. I've just barely met Diana at that time. Just sat there. That they went off for hours just talking about, oh yeah, how great the new Sony is. Oh, you two techies. I love you guys.
I mean,
it still continues today on Instagram.
I have not been on Instagram other than to send you a message and say, hey, are you running late? That's it. But as far as Sony goes, I mean, I saw that thumbnail that I screen captured.
Yeah, well, you guys weren't wrong. It's just cut of the same cloth. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. Jay is saying Mavic Mini 2 is new and is $600. Oh,
come on.
I know.
They're basically giving those things away.
Oh, I know. And he has the Mavic Air 2 combo, which is $1,200 with insurance. You know, and here it goes with gear. When it goes with gear, I'm constantly in my mind, because I haven't bought it yet, I am going back and forth between Mini 2, Air 2, Mini 2, Air 2. I will probably go with Mini 2 because it's mini, and I could slide it in my big old pant pocket if I needed to. I do like the tracking features that the Air 2 has, but how often would I use those? That's the thing. Which, I mean, how much gear do I have that I'm like, you know, how often would I use that feature? How often would I actually need a microphone on the front and the back? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how much am I going to use it. This month will tell me whether you want to know if I prefer the Rode Video Micro or the D4 Duo. Will find out by the end of the month, because I have been using these equally interchangeably, going back and forth. I'm putting it through the ringer this month, and it's like I'm going to figure out which one I like. Yesterday's vlog of not having that back capsule on there and trying to talk to Duchess, and it didn't quite work. I would have liked to have it, but is it enough? I don't know.
You ever find yourself waiting for the next thing to come out? Like,
yes, I have the reason I didn't buy a drone earlier is because I saw the rumors that DJI was going to drop another one before the end of the year. And I'm like,
I'm stuck, man. I've got the Mavic Pro, and it's obviously showing its age in this day, but I don't want to buy the Mavic 2 Pro because that thing's getting a little old, a little long in the tooth, and I'm wondering if they're going to release a Mavic 3.
Probably spring.
But you know what? I don't think I've ever regretted picking up any of the gear that I don't think either one of us have a problem well, I tease you and Diana all the time about buying stuff, but I don't think any of us truly have a problem with collecting gear and putting like gear before families or ministry. It's all worked out. There's been more than enough, and every tool has come in its place except for the ones that have been sold off or given away. Wouldn't you agree? I hardly ever regret going, oh man, I shouldn't have bought that. Except for a slider. Where's that slider?
So, yeah, gear, one thing that I hadn't...
Are you texting Diana right now?
No, that I hadn't shown you and Diana, but I'll let everybody in on this real quick.
Let's see it. What am I looking at? Looks like lights.
Yeah, so...
What's that?
I've got some more lights that are coming on Monday.
Dude, I just watched a guy into video production and whatnot, and he says, which, I mean, you take it with a grain of salt, but he says you spend half your budget that you spend on cameras and whatnot on lighting. And I got to thinking about that. That's a lot of lights. That's a lot of lighting equipment. So it doesn't necessarily go bad. Do it, coffee. Floating coffee hand. You gotta get that, otherwise it's not nearly weird enough.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm always picking up gear. Diana, she called it. She saw it. RGB LED panels are on the way for Josh. Yes. And I probably don't need them. But I thought if I've got like these LifeX lights up here and all I'm really using them for is just white at this point. And it's like, because all I'm doing is white, I really don't need those. And I thought about maybe taking those down to the church and the whole track unit, which might work a little bit better. And then I can use some RGB white lights to cast up there. Or if I needed color, I could do that as well. Mm-hmm. So I figured, why not just drop a couple $100 on some more lights and hope my wife doesn't murder me in my sleep. No, it's good. But we do this stuff, and it's a constant back and forth of looking at these things. And honestly, some of the gear that I buy is because I have seen other creators using it, but they've never used it in a ministry capacity.
Yeah.
And I always get ministers asking, what about the Comica Boom XD? Is it any good? And I do a hot take of Diana, and I'm like, it's not as good as the Rode. So Diana thinks it's as good. I think Diana's crazy. Because I don't think it sounds that good. I mean, it sounds good. Not as good as the Rode. But it's much cheaper. So maybe. But that's the other thing. It's like, for your use case, possibly it might work better. You know, RGB versus like the ones I've got right now, these are just white, which are good. I've had some RGB lights in other things, but I don't know. I'm gonna try these out, and if I don't like them, I don't know what I'll do with them. Give them to my son or something. But I've always got it. I don't just buy stuff for the sake of buying stuff. I want to make sure that at least I've got a use case for it.
Right. And
that it's going to be something. And as much as I tease about my wife, you know, wanting to rein things in on me at times, she does. Like, I don't do $200 purchases without talking to her. It's like, what about this? I think I can probably earn my money back on it this way, that way. I've got other stuff that I can sell. So it's when I've got one thing that I'm using, and if I don't use it anymore, so like the Blue Compass mic boom arm, I'm not using it. I'm going to get rid of that. I've got my Zoom F4 field recorder. I'm not using it. I'm getting rid of it. I've got my old Shure USB microphone that I used to use for live streaming. I'm not using it. I'm getting rid of it. I've got my old softbox lights. I'm not using them. I'm getting rid of them. So I'm not just going to keep on to the stuff. And anything I've got in here, when I get done using it, I've got a Logitech C920 webcam that if somebody's interested in it, let me know. Because I don't use it. And if I'm not going to use it and I have no intentions of using it, why?
Do you still use your EOS M?
I do use the EOS M. The EOS M is my thumbnail camera.
Okay.
And I've said this before, when it comes to Canon and photography, Canon's amazing. They do a great job with pictures. They do a poor job with video because they just want to cripple things. So I use it, and it's just for thumbnails. That's it. And I don't do it for anything else. Now, once I get a better, like 35 millimeter type lens for the A6600, I'll probably get rid of the EOS M, because at that point it won't compare. But with this like Sigma 16, it works great for video. I'm not a big fan of how it looks on photos yet, except for like landscape stuff. It works great for that. But this, it's just, I don't know. Anyhow, that's me. Anything else we want to talk about today?
I don't know, man. We're definitely down the tech rabbit hole, but I love it. Do we have any more questions? Let's see what Diana.
Jay said, as far as the insurance, I think this was on his thing. He said he's already crashed it and got it replaced. His Mavic Air 2. Yep. That would be the one thing that does kind of concern me about the Mavic Mini is not having the sensors. And it looked like it didn't come with the guards that the Mavic Mini did, so the Mini 2 doesn't have the propeller guards.
You don't need any stinking guards.
I want the guards just for the sake of intentionally running it into stuff. What happens if I run this into my face?
Yeah, you're gonna regret that. These things are spinning.
With propeller guards, will I regret it?
Probably. These things are spinning.
So I that's where I would I would want to find out. Curious Mind wants to know if propeller guards are truly a waste and if not. And what happens if I run it into the back of my children?
Read the comments. Read the comments.
Jay, guards are a waste.
There you go. You asked for an expert in the field. Done.
Yeah, they are. But I've never flown a drone.
Hey, they fly themselves, man. They really do. You're gonna fly.
I know how to
thing.
play Frogger, so I should be okay, right?
You're gonna be fine. I mean, if you played a video game in your life, these things are awesome. You just can't get overconfident. As long as you're cautious, these things fly themselves. You're gonna take this thing off, and you're gonna go, oh wow. I mean, the technology in these things to be able to hold altitude, they don't move. Left is left, right's right. Reverse that. Up, down. I mean, it's very simple.
Yep. Jay's saying buy a cheap drone to practice on. Mini 2 it is. I typically don't. I go straight for what I have, and I'm like, I'm either going to make this work or I'm going to
burn it in.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I need a good microphone, to upgrade from, I think I was using like a Tascam $25 that I bought at first, and I was like, this thing's horrible. So I was like, I need something else. It wasn't horrible, but I needed something else, and it was like, let's do something. Here's an idea. Shure SM7B. It's just like, go big or go home.
Hey,
I'm going to switch over from the Canon M50, which is like $500 with a kit lens, over to Sony. What should I get? Oh, hey, Sony A6600. Let's drop $2,000. But that's me. He says, buy the cheap one and give it to your son. Actually, I do plan on having my son being an extra drone cinematographer. I'll drive the car. He can track me in the drone.
Definitely. Dude, that's invaluable right there.
Yep.
You know how many times I'm like, okay, if I can set up the tracking on my car, and I just never, I never have the boldness, I think I'll say it that way. I never have the boldness to be driving and flying a drone. So no. Thank you.
But think what happens when it does crash and it does fail. You have a great vlog to make. So that way you're making vlogs outside of these 30-day challenges.
They're sturdy. I will give the Mavic, the original Mavic, this. I've burned it into the side of a well house. It's hit a tree. It's hit a pole. I mean, side to side, it takes a little bit of slow. I'm telling you right now, I'm warning you now, Joshua. If you're cooking and you're doing something to the side, you need to give it a little bit of time for it to level out if you let off the sticks, because bam!
So it's not as responsive as FPV drones.
It can't see it as fast as, no, definitely not. Yeah. It can't see it as fast as you're cooking to the side. Once it recognizes there's an obstacle, it's too late. Bam!
Nice. Yep, it's gonna be interesting. I will have some drone footage for the second time on this channel. Only the second time I've had drone footage, and the first time
will be the last.
Was my spoken word that I did, the only one I've done, and that was borrowing a friend's, and I don't remember what he had. Oh, it was the GoPro one, the drone that GoPro made. What was that?
Drone that
didn't GoPro have a drone?
Yes.
Had
a little stick that could attach and unattach from it. Yeah.
It had like the gimbal that you slid in and out. That's the one that he had, whatever that was.
Okay.
And as far as auto tracking, here's why I'm thinking, just because nobody asked and I'm going to give it to you anyways. Why would I choose Mavic Mini, or not Mavic Mini? Why would I choose the Mini 2 over the Mavic Air 2? The only reason I would want the Mavic Air 2 is for its tracking capabilities. That's the only feature it has that the Mini 2 doesn't have that I would want. Not that it doesn't have other features. It has other features, but that's the only one I would want. And if I wanted tracking capabilities that bad, I would go with the Skydio because it does a better job of tracking than Mavic Air does. So that's the only reason I would use it and the only reason I'd want it. And I don't think the Skydio's footage is that impressive. So obviously tracking isn't that big of a deal to me. So Mini 2.
Don't get too excited. I mean, get excited. It's Christmas. Enjoy your new toy, but it's kind of a hassle. It's like using a gimbal. When you're out vlogging like we are most of the time, we want to get the story because we've got other things going on. Well, now incorporate a drone that you've got to send up. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody goes nuts over the drone shot. It seems to bring up the production. It almost gives you some legitimacy because you've got a drone in your vlog. Yep. But it's such a hassle to send it up for a couple of seconds, to fly it around for 10 minutes to catch you driving somewhere so that you can have 2 seconds of drone B-roll.
But I think the other thing it will help with is it will make me more intentional about what I'm filming.
Okay.
So I won't press record unless I really want that shot. Yeah. Unlike what I do right now, which, hey, let's record everything, and then I'll have to suffer for 2 hours filtering through everything.
I'm trying something. Tell me if you've noticed. I'm not even using transitions. Is it bad? What do you think? I've done like 4 videos now, next to no transitions. Is it noticeable?
What do you mean next to no transitions? You've got transitions, but what do you mean by transitions?
They have miraculously come together. So whenever that's happened, I say miraculously, but instead of going, okay, how am I going to get from point A to point B where a door closes or covers over the screen and opens up another one, I'm just cutting to try and save sanity and to see if anybody actually notices, and that's why I'm bringing it up. Have you noticed?
Yes, but not to the point that it bothered me.
Fascinating.
But
it's a lot of work. You know how it is. It's a lot of work in editing to make sure that things line up just so, and you have a smooth transition. And I wondered if anybody would care if we just went from straight talkie head, boom, cut to, instead of how
I've done the same thing. Yeah. I've done the same thing, which is probably why
it's not bad.
Probably why I noticed yours is because I've done it, and I just don't care.
Right. Well, I mean, like, how many times can you show getting into the car to drive to town to the exact same place that we went to yesterday? That's the weird part about vlogs when you have a set schedule.
Although even I do have some transitions, I guess I'm showing some of that, but I'm not doing it in the way that I would typically do it. Like the way I've done with those smooth transitions. They're definitely not smooth. They're jarring. And some of it I'm making intentionally jarring. Yeah. Like intentional jarring, I think was the cell phone vlog where, hey, let's grab the pies and let's go. And then it's like, shut a door, turn a key, open a door, and we're here. And I'm talking. And it was like, and that's it. So it was like 3 rapid fire cuts and whatever. I actually kind of like those jarring cuts like that.
I do too.
So I think it's a different style that I'm used to. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. Although honestly, when I'm watching TV, the common transition that I see in television shows is they're in one scene and then they do a wide shot.
Sure.
Of whatever they're going to do. It's that establishing shot, and then they're in. And that's the only transition that they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's if they're doing that at all. But half the time it's just cut. So
I've done a few, and I'm glad you're not bringing them up because that means I'm getting away with it. I've done a few where I'm going straight talking head to cut straight talking head, and I'm in a different environment with no sequence as to how I got there. And if that's not flagging, I'm sure you've noticed it, but if you hadn't brought that up, then we're good to go. I'm overthinking transitions and stuff, and story really is king.
Jay knows he's been in that kind of video production realm for some time, and he's saying it is a new style over the last 5-10 years that has happened is the hard cuts. Yeah, those really hard jump cuts. And he says he sees it as a generational style from millennials. I would say that's probably the case. You know, because even like Casey Neistat that we refer to, he didn't have as many of them. He does a lot of establishing shots, and he does a lot of smoother transitions. His is more of the traditional television movie where it's establishing shots.
Right.
And it's nice at times. It makes it a little bit more fluid. But I've also adopted a much faster pace on my editing style over the last 6 months.
Sure.
Like crazy fast pace, where I'm cutting out pauses and ums and ahs and going like rapid fire on phrasing and everything. So it's the hard cuts make sense.
I even appreciate folks who will cut off their words, you know, because your brain's already auto-filled that. And I think I'm sure they're just going through their edit and cutting things through, but I almost appreciate that because it's almost more clever to me that they cut off the back end of that word and kept it flowing at a quick pace.
I have tried that a dozen different times, and I have not been able to successfully do it. And that was one of the goals I had for this month, was to do that at least once in a way that worked. And I can't figure it out. Like every time I try it, it
seems unpolished, like you missed something.
Unpolished and forced, unlike Trey Van Camp, who does it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like he does it successfully. I like it. I can't do it. I wish I could do it. I'm trying to do it. I'm going to do it either successfully or unsuccessfully sometime this month. It's going to happen at least once. You can just be on the lookout, see if you notice it. You'll have to watch all the vlogs to figure out when it's going, because I don't know. I try it like every other video, and it's like, nope, that didn't work.
No. It's a tough one.
So then I scrap it. And, of course, I've recorded the whole thing, and then I just don't. I don't know. Anybody's got any tips on how to make that happen, let me know. I'd love to hear it.
We may have to set up a personal thing with Jay.
Yeah. Jay's saying that it does work from what he's seen, and I think that was that hard cut. I like the cuts. I like those. There are times that it is jarring. And I've seen people do it where it is jarring. It's like, wait, what just happened? But more often than not, it works good. And maybe it's if there's areas that are kind of common that people are used to. Maybe that's why I'm not noticing it as much for you, and you're not noticing it as much for me. I don't know. Maybe the rest of the audience is looking and they're like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because I do try to do some of that transition and some of the establishment shots for certain things. Once I get the drone, you can be sure there will be a lot more establishing shots going on in my video once I get that drone. That's all it's going to be. I'm recording.
And legally, Joshua.
Safe and legally. What's that? Safe.
Fly dangerously.
If anybody questions whether or not that was, if they're like, hey, you can't fly a drone there. I just lifted my gimbal in the air. I've got a 30-foot monopod attached to my gimbal.
Oh man. I'm with you. I really like part of this whole VlogMAS challenge thing. I like being able to try things out that I wouldn't normally try on a polished video because it would be inappropriate. If you had a jump cut that fell flat, that's flagging in a more polished setting. So I'm liking this because we get to try, and it's like, oh, that worked. Because where are you guys going? Nowhere. For the most part, at least on my channel, the folks who are there day in and day out are the regulars who like me for me, not because. It's another song for another time.
Yep. All right, I think that's about it. Jay's saying he personally came out of deck to deck before nonlinear editing transitions were visual with cuts.
You just flew 30,000 feet over my head. That's amazing. I don't even know what that means.
Me too. Now I'm going to have to go search it and find out what's up. Anywho, I think that's all we got for you guys. Make sure if you guys are making some video content out there, it doesn't have to be vlogs, whatever video content you're making, whatever platform you're making it on, if you want to accept the VP challenge for this week, hashtag VP challenge. We're doing B-roll. So let's see your B-roll footage. Make sure to tag us, let us know, send it to us, notify us some way that you did it, and it might just be featured in one of the vlogs or on next week's episode of the VlogPastors Podcast. That's all I got. You got any parting shots that you want for these lovely folks, Jared?
Not a one. Love you guys.
All right. Well, then I guess until next week, or until tomorrow, stay blessed. Enjoy God's best. Have a fantastic day.